is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show. This.
So here's the putting green. See? There you go. Got two flags. One is over there where Cutter's Edge Pro. It's not coming out now. Come on. Come on, wind. Give me a little wind. No, unfortunately. But there you go. So here's the putting green. See? There you go. Got two flags. One.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding. With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayum, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayum can help.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, InterMiamiCF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Howdy, howdy, one and all. Hope you all are doing, I hope you're doing 10% as well as I am. Because if you are, then you are doing fantastic. Even if I'm bouncing around on one leg, we're still doing absolutely fantastic. We are at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. It is Friday, March 8th. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Yeah, boy. Hey, did you make any money on our Suarez pick last night? I think somebody said plus 190 was good, right? And let me tell you something. I saw that Taylor wasn't starting. Okay? And, you know, here, remember, we had a conversation last night, you and I, we were talking about this. And what did I tell you? That, you know, I'm not smart enough. I'm not well-versed in this to know the coaches, the formations, and all that shit, right? So I still put a little bit on Taylor because maybe he comes off the bench, whatever. You know, I put like half of what I put on Suarez. When I saw that it wasn't the starting lineup, I said, okay, all right, fine. I took it, right? But I won. Even with Suarez scoring and taking a little loss on Taylor, it didn't matter. I won. But I picked up on what happened, dude. I'm an idiot. See, I'm not smart enough to know the strategy of soccer and the coaches and the formations and all that bullshit. And, you know, eventually as time goes on, I'll learn this league. I'll learn the MLS. I'll learn the teams. I'll learn the coaches. I'll learn their styles because I'm watching more and more. as time goes on. So I'll get there. It's just going to take me a little while to get to that point and be smart. So what Tata did yesterday was, I got a game in a couple days. I'm resting everybody, and Campana and Taylor are going to be my horses. And when you have that luxury, which, by the way, we have that luxury as Inter-Miami fans, Campana can play. He's proven. Campana's issue was staying healthy. That's, if anybody questioned Campana as a player, you're an idiot. You're not watching the damn game, right? And Taylor has proven to be, that's what I think is going to happen here. So the folks that are going to Inter's game on Sunday, I would not expect to see a Suarez, Messi, Busquets, maybe, or maybe they play a little Busquets, because Busquets doesn't really use a ton of energy, and he's really a passer. So maybe he can play a half or something. And Alba is already hurting as it is. I don't think he'll play, but
he didn't play last night, right? Alba was out yesterday.
Right, exactly. So I'm a dummy, and I didn't pick up on that. And I think that's what's going on. And he had to save him, and I should have kind of anticipated that. So I kind of, threw a little money away on the Taylor, but Suarez picked it up for me. And I told you, at plus 190, I think by game time it was plus 180. Dude, it was a steal of a selection with beautiful header late in the game to tie it, bro. That was like our only saving grace last night.
So what I'm understanding, what you're saying is, the Inter-Miami fans are going to get screwed at home.
Well, okay. Did Tata not specifically say that what's important to them was CONCACAF?
No, I get that. But it's like
we're playing CONCACAF. Yeah. And by the way, didn't I tell you, if for those of you who are newbies, Nashville is in pain in the ass, dude. Okay? I mean, we do not play well, even with what – it doesn't matter what we have. That Nashville coach, just so you guys newbies out there might know, he's been shitting on our franchise from the get-go. In the first couple of years, he said, oh, well, they don't deserve to be in the playoffs. They're only in the playoffs because they expanded. And he took shots, and you lived it. And so, that is our rival. It isn't Orlando City. It's Nashville. And guess who you play on Wednesday after Sunday? Nashville, right? It's Wednesday?
Yeah, I believe it's next Wednesday, second leg, yep.
Wednesday, 8:35. You cannot play Messi and these guys on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's what's going on here. And I apologize on the Taylor thing because of my lack of knowledge, because I'm really not a soccer expert, and I never will profess to be. I'll take you to the death in football, okay? But if I don't know something, I'm pretty. I have no freaking problem telling you, brother. I'm not an expert here.
And I think Ray hit it too on here when he said, especially after the injury, the scary injury when he hit the calf. Did you see that?
Yeah, dude.
So more than likely,
that son of a bitch kept it up, bro. Yeah. I'm telling you, I hate Nashville. I hate it. And the other play also, they had another dirty shot on one of our guys.
There's a lot of skirmishes during that match. There was a little bit of.
I hate Nashville. Okay, and not the city, because I want to go there and party one day. I hate fucking soccer team. Okay?
Nashville's going to be our Buffalo, right?
Yeah. But we have more success against Nashville than we do against
Buffalo. Oh, yes. But it's turning around. Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe we'll see.
Yeah, we needed world-class talent to turn it around. That's what we need. World-class talent. Oh, man.
You said everybody needs talent.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's right. Everybody needs talent. Great Tony Stampone is in the house. Yeah, baby. Oh, man. Love it. By the way, we are out here at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 and Pines. Come on out and say hi. We'll be out here for a couple of hours. At 4 o'clock, David Furones at 4:30. It'll be Manny Navarro. We got a bunch of things to talk about. A South Florida athlete got exposed last night. Any idea what I'm talking about there, Sean? No? Really? Not at all? Okay. What? Dawson. Anyway, we'll I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. By the way, where are we at? Bitcoin hit 69 again today for the second time and bounced down to 66, a real big dip, 66,975. Now it broke 69 again, which has become a resistance, and it is still at 69,268. So we're waiting for 70. Now, remember, we broke the record the last time we were on, right? A couple days ago. The record was broken while we were on. I think we're at 69,268. Well, this is on Exodus. Yeah. See, the problem is I could go to crypto.com and look up Bitcoin on crypto.com. It's at 70,364. So think about it. Okay. This is a lesson for you. Okay. So am I going to buy my Bitcoin right now on Exodus at 69,268? Or am I going to buy my Bitcoin on Crow at 70,364? This is why this is why we tell you have to have multiple places to buy: Binance and Exodus and Tangent Wallet and Crow and Kraken, and you got to open up places everywhere and then compare the prices, because you might get charged 50 cents extra here in a service charge or $1 there, but you're like Exodus, they'll charge you a little bit more than Crow. Like Crow will charge you, I think, 2 to 3%, right? And Exodus might charge you closer to 4%, but you're buying it $1,000 cheaper right now. So that's a lot of money to move. So you're gaining in the long run. You're buying crypto at a cheaper price on Exodus, and you're gaining more in the long run. There is a lesson for you today on crypto. Please compare the prices on the exchanges. See, Coinbase is $71.99 because they're running out of crypto. So Exodus and Tangem sell it more at the proper price. Little tips and tricks of the trade. Right now, Bitcoin's at 69,246 officially. It has not hit 70. I know they're going to say 70 in other places and all that. I don't count that yet. Until I see it on Exodus, until I see it on Tangem. Tangem right now, the Tangem wallet, if you wanted to buy Bitcoin, they sell it to you at a fair price, 69,311. Okay? I'm just looking out for you guys, man. I just try to, guide you through some of this crap that I've already learned in 3 years, so you don't make the same stupid mistakes that I've made over, but that's why you got to have multiple accounts in all kinds of places. And then what do we do, ladies and gentlemen? We all move it to what? Our cold storage wallets, right? We don't keep it on exchanges. You see how Coinbase craps out every time there's a Bitcoin run and there's an explosion. They're crapping out. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want that happening. So control your destiny by keeping it on the cold storage wallet. All right? 69. Oh, it says 69,342 on Coinbase. Okay. Oh, he was saying the high was okay. All right. But either way, I just want you to make sure you compare when you're buying and you're about to buy. All right, let me see what Kraken has it on. Hey, let me see what crypto.com has it on. Let me see what Coinbase. Let me see Tangem. Let me see Exodus. Let me see whatever it is, that you're going to use. And always do your homework and make sure you're buying it off. Like all the places I said right now are reputable. They're the kind of places that you no problem to go there. Okay. But anyway, how many made some money on Suarez last night? By the way, my play right now is taking the Heat plus the points against OKC. This is back-to-back. Jimmy is playing. Okay. This is where they count out the Heat. And this doesn't look good. OKC's dominant at home, yada, 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 all that crap. Jimmy got his ass handed to him last night. I'm taking the Heat and the points. I'm not telling you they're going to win, but right now they're giving you 8.5 or 9 points. I'm taking the points. I already made a little move, and then I'm waiting for the live line
to see if maybe I could get a couple more points and then, maybe add a little bit to the bet there. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I'm going to do. But I'm just saying that's my move today. Okay? For those of you out there. So anyway, Bitcoin exploding, Sailor exploding, Kryptonite up over 50%. It was hanging out at 6 cents for a while, and it's now right around 10 cents. Pretty good. Ondo up to 62 cents. I put it all there on the chat board. I see Alex Palenzuela's number one. Ryan AP says James Williams, linebacker, safety, University of Miami. I think he should be our first rounder. No way. No way. There's a lot of rawness there at this point in time. You need a linebacker badly. I don't think he's going to be a safety very long, to be quite honest. Captain Saki is in the house in Tarpon Springs. Robert T. Lisa Rose. Steven Gonzalez. Brooklyn Rob. Thinking of using some Bitcoin profits to see Iron Maiden in Brazil in December. Your thoughts? I like that. That's a good move. That's a good move because you could easily pay for that trip by November, December. You're so Bitcoin and everything else, you're rolling so much that, oh, hell yeah, bro. That's a good move. That's a bucket list type of thing. Iron Maiden in Brazil. Whew, that is fun. Joseph is in the house. Yeah, it was rough. Alex, you bought BitTorrent. Well, I sold out of BitTorrent years ago because of Justin's son. And I'm not a guy that trusts that guy. So that's my problem with BitTorrent. But apparently it went up, so that's pretty good. You made a couple bucks. Good for you. Good for you. I thought BitTorrent was going to be amazing. I thought it was going to really take off because it's a product that everybody can use. But I don't know. Justin's son is a shady dude. Ray Grullon is in the house. Thank you for the love on the show. I appreciate it. Jay Gelfin in the house. Thank you, sir. Gus 1388. Rosendo is in. One-Eyed Jack. It's a wonderful Bitcoin world. Yes, it is. No doubt. ETH touched 4K. Yeah. We've been telling you that ETH was going to blow up when it was at $2,000. 2,100. We were telling you, hey, you guys need to watch out. ETH is going to start making its move. It's now getting to 4,000. It's going to surpass its 4,800. And I think in this bull run, it goes 7 to 10. Okay. So I love ETH, and I've been a huge ETH guy from the get-go. Frankie Fresco is riding that Sailor bandwagon. So if you loaded up here when it was in the bottom for a couple of weeks and you were wondering, hey, what's going on? There you go. You got your push. Let's see if now we get more now. One leg Suarez with the header. Yep. He looked bad in his first game, and then now he's looked better. There's no doubt about that. He's moving much better. Probably not 100%, which he probably never will be because he's old already. But he's moving way better. That was good. That was good yesterday. That was huge. But our defense still sucks, dude. God, our defense sucks. Rick D. Man is in the house. Popeye, Jay Gelfin reminds everybody to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Please don't forget and hit that like button. The trifecta, like button, notification bell, right? And subscribe. So all that stuff right there. Subscribe, notification bell, and hit that like. And we thank you. And watch time. Watch time. That's the best way you repay us. If you, of course, visit our sponsors like here at Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines, where it is rocking and rolling. Giovanni is in. Think Blue Dodgers. Deshaun 305 says SoFi Athlete Thursday night sounds like Tatum to me. Boston wants to force Tatum to be the face of the league so bad, but he kept exposing himself. Nope. I said South Florida Athlete got exposed. I don't give a shit about Jason Tatum, dude. You know what I mean? Whether he succeeds or fails,
the only time I'm going to really enjoy it is when he's failing against the Heat. You know what I mean? But overall, and it says clearly on the title, a South Florida athlete got exposed Thursday night. You got to read, my man. You got to pay attention. But it ain't Tatum. Ray Sosa in. I'm going to tell you who it is right now. Josh. Yeah, it was fun, the game last night with Inter. That was a lot of fun. I had my head spinning, seeing everything. I guess the wrist injury by Jimmy, because he was holding it, but he was like, no, I'm all right. And maybe it was just kind of a stinger or whatever. And then the Panthers just kind of cold. It was rough watching it last night. It was everywhere. And then the Inter kind of saved us with that late goal. No doubt. Yeah, to me, that's not the real height. It hasn't hit 70 yet in my eyes. Alex Palenzuela, Eric Simon, Matthew Lean. Oh, how's it going? Why Jake Bailey, again, saw him in person at every home game, was not impressed. They're not paying him a ton, by the way. So I'm wondering, I'll give you a first little nugget since it's just Jake Bailey and it's the punter, and I'm not going to spend my time in all of this. But I think when it comes to directional kicking, I think they think he's pretty good at that overall. Is he the guy that's going to boom it and all that? Apparently, we didn't see a lot of that. Now, he didn't have really any runbacks on his kicks. That's not on him. That's on the kicking unit. But there were some returns. Not on him, on the unit, right? So, and here's where I'm also thinking. They've got to spend a lot of money in so many areas that maybe they don't want to spend what it takes for which I don't know what the market is, but clearly they're not paying Jake Bailey like to be a top-notch punter. Okay, so, what is it, a $2.1 million per year deal, 4.2 total. That doesn't really sound like a lot of money to me. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's, all right, we got to bite the bullet and get somebody that's kind of steady, but not necessarily elite. And we got to cut some corners somewhere because we're going to do some other things everywhere else. So that's kind of the way I read into it. So you're not going to be able to, and especially in free agency, you're going to then overpay for the best punter. That, again, I don't even know what the market is, because I told you, I'll give you a little nugget here because I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the punter. But I don't know what the market is out there. I'm sure it's a lot more than that for one of the better punters. And something tells me that sometimes you got to kind of give and take in different places. Yes, sir.
I was going to say two things. One, Mike McDaniel doesn't punt. He'll probably go for it most of the time.
Right. That's a good point, actually.
And two, I believe this is the reason that Crossman is still with us. Because you see the thing? This is the first time since 2019 they've had a consistency of punter, holder, kicker. The first time in 5 years.
Okay. All right. All right. So I love those nuggets. Those were good, really good nuggets right there, dude. I know, exactly. Talking punters. So let's not overreact. Let's not get anything crazy. The guy wasn't punting backwards or anything like that. So, it is what it is, dude. And if you want to really get an elite team, I think they're probably going to be spending in other places. And, oh, by the way, that's not to say they don't draft a seventh rounder. That's not to say they don't bring in competition that's undrafted and the kid shines and they cut this guy and they take a small hit on some kind of a little signing bonus. You know what I mean? They stretch out the signing bonus. For, maybe it's I don't even know what the signing bonus is, but let's say it's a $700,000 signing bonus. They break it down into 2 years. That's why it's a 2-year special, and it's $350 for the next 2 years. And that's it. You just take the hit and you move on, and you got this young punter from college that kicks some ass. But right now, don't go crazy over it. Yeah.
Can't you do? I don't know if you said draft or if you can bring in a unsigned, right, or whatever it's called, undrafted free agent, right? That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
My fault. I didn't hear it. Got crossed up.
Yeah. I don't think it's a big deal. All right, let's do it. our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report with the one and only, of course, David Furones, 954-966-4646, bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Call my guy, Jeff Welt and Daniel Rayom. I'm telling you. And by the way, it's always important to have the number with you all the time. So save it on your cell phone now. 954-966-4646. These guys are amazing. They were great for us when they handled our case against Progressive Insurance, and they kicked Progressive's ass. These guys got an office with 20 plus years of experience. They take on enormous cases, and they take on personal cases. So call Welt and Rayom, but save that number because maybe you don't have an issue now, which is great. Maybe you had an issue in the past and you don't know if the statute of limitations is over. You should call. The consultation's free. Or, down the line, you may have an issue. We may have storms, water damage, whatever it is. And then you're going to need somebody. You're going to say, damn, what's that? What's the lawyers that are on with O? And you're not going to remember at that moment. Do it now. 954-966-4646 for Welt and Rayom. Let's do it. David Furones.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session. Welt and Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right, David. Breaking news. The door is closed for Xavier Howard.
Yeah, Chris Greer was trying to tell us what he wanted, but I felt it was pretty much a long shot that Xavier Howard would actually be on board with that and would be willing to play ball. We had him at the locker cleanout day right as the Dolphins were eliminated a couple of days after that playoff game in Kansas City, and he definitely seemed to indicate that he was not willing to take less money to stick around. So I think it's no surprise that that's his take on the matter after Chris Greer at the Combine sort of trying to insinuate that maybe the door wasn't closed.
Have you guys picked up that, guys and girls, everybody that covers this team, have you guys picked up that Chris Greer is going to say the company line for everybody? Oh, no, we don't rule it out. The door is always open. He's always going to be, even if he already closed the door on his ass a long time ago, he's never going to tell you, yeah, no, we're not interested. Oh, no, he's washed up. Why are we going to re-sign him? Get out of here. You're never going to get that from the guy. So you're always going to get the same company line. So he gives it a respectful type of way of doing it publicly. But I mean, it's the same thing with the Wilkins thing. That shit was over last year, dude. Not this year, not now. That shit was over last year when they had their bitter ending to the whole shit. There was no, again, everybody played cordial in the front because that's what Chris Greer, Spo is never going to trash a player. He's never going to make an excuse. He's just going to say we have enough, and he's just going to say no. He was fine with us, whatever. He's really not going to trash people. It's the same thing that Chris Greer is always going to give you it's a company line, really, is what it is. I'm not sure why people run with it one way in the way of hope, he's left the door open, and it's bro. That shit is nailed shut. Come on, bro. How naive can you be already at this point? I don't know. I find it funny.
I've had now 3 years of being in on Chris Greer press conferences since I joined the beat, and sure, it seems like over a lot of the questions, a lot of the questioning, he will answer in a way that leaves all opportunities open, all options open, similar to that Christian Wilkins answer, which was all options are on the table. He'll say that a lot. He tries not to.
Hey! Here's a good one. Are you ready? Are you ready?
What is it?
Earn the right to be a free.
That's one of my favorites. That's one of my favorites from Chris Greer.
I mean, it's like hook, line. Are you people falling for this shit? I mean, come on, dude. It's the same crap he says for everything because he's going to be respectful. He's not going to trash anyone. he'll let everybody else do that, dude, and he's always going to take the high road. So it's like if you're trying to bait him into that, or you're trying to create your own headlines. But really, dude, the Wilkins and the X stuff, and that shit was over already, man. I mean, come on, dude.
I do think from his perspective, yes, he would have liked X at a lower pay rate, but it's just that wasn't going to ever really be the reality from X's standpoint. And, probably internally holding out some hope that maybe he sees the market and then it's not that great for him, although I think he will have somewhat of a sizable market there for him, even at his age. But maybe hoping he tests the waters and then says, oh, well, if they're offering me X to go elsewhere, no pun intended, I could get Y with the Dolphins. And the difference when you consider the state tax implications and the way I'm treated with the Dolphins, who are number one in the NFLPA survey and all that, is the grass really greener on the other side? So maybe hopeful that all that gets taken into consideration and he would take a little bit less. But also from a player standpoint, it's a pride thing too, that an organization that you've been with for 8 seasons doesn't want to pay you what you feel you're worth or what you're on the hook for, which obviously for the Dolphins, saving $18.5 million was just too desirable after June 1 when you consider where X is right now in his career.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. Plus, they have to turn the page, bro. You have to turn the page. You have to make tough cuts. And you've got to, maybe bring in some new people and kind of change it. And that's we're already watching the Weaver effect take place. Yeah. So obviously Weaver is part of a lot of these decisions because there must be a plan in place of how they're going to replace certain people. So we're watching a lot of the changes going on. Baker also, one of the things we like on this show that we like to use is 3 magical words for Chris Grier. And yeah, he would like X at a price. And yeah, he would like Dalvin Cook at a price. And yeah, he would like Jonathan Taylor at a price. Yeah, he would like to, maybe bring back Baker. Low-hanging fruit is what he wants. And so if he can get them back at a discounted price, I'm sure that he would take that chance like he did with Emmanuel Ogbah when he first got him, that he got a discounted rate for the first 2 years, and then he gave him a contract after that because he had earned it after 2 years of 9 sacks each. Unfortunately, the man had an injury, and we had a defensive scheme change, which was not beneficial to him or to Chris Grier, who gave him that contract, unfortunately. But that happens with change. People are coming and people are going, unfortunately, and this is part of it. So your impression so far early on of the process and how much Weaver is involved in Wilkins not being here, moving on from Baker, Keon Crossan, X, all the changes that are being made.
Certainly. And to your point on Grier, at a price, the low-hanging fruit, I think that speaks also to his philosophy on taking the chance on the injured player because, you can get that player at a discounted rate when he has that injury history. So not being afraid to deal with that and going for it. So on the defensive side, yeah, definitely. I think, which was one of the answers that we really did get from Chris Grier in a way, because Jerome Baker was on the hook for some money. And then he said at the Combine that the new defensive coaching staff will get a chance to analyze the personnel and make their decision based on that. So that sort of led you to believe, okay, wait, this guy was on the hook for money. You're not really committing to him. So that sort of led into, okay, yeah, this cut is really realistic, which we could always see. We thought maybe shakedown and that Baker would come back, but then it ends up being a release at this point. So yeah, Anthony Weaver definitely has his fingerprints all over the new defensive changes. Hey, he was with Patrick Queen, a guy we've mentioned on this program a few times. So I think a lot of Dolphins fans would be hopeful that the inside linebacker from Baltimore, who
no, Dolphins linebacker Patrick Queen.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. That's for next week's show.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's for next week's show.
Running back Derrick Henry. It just kind of, it just goes.
Yeah. Which I saw, I had a press release of some betting odds sent to me, and they have him at 25-1 to go to the Dolphins. So
I was wondering, does the Hard Rock app have that? Because I would love.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I would love to bet that.
That'd be something worth looking into, huh?
I gotta tell you, let me see. Hard Rock app, does it have NFL props like that? Free agent props. That would be pretty cool. Let me see what it has here.
Sometimes those are tougher to find on a lot of the legal books, and then it's some of these offshore sites that send out press releases, and it's pretty unique stuff that you don't get elsewhere. So that's why they kind of catch the eyes of people in the media like myself, and then I end up giving them publicity.
Yeah, dude. Oh, here we go. NFL. I got it now. Conference winner, division winner, regular season. Division winner to make the playoffs, player awards, no. NFL draft, first overall pick, second, third overall pick. Okay. Team to draft a player, all that. Okay. No, unfortunately, dude. Unfortunately. By the way, speaking of low-hanging fruit, I think that's kind of what he just did with Jonnu Smith, because it's really, it's not even $5 million a year that he's going to get, and if he actually plays the way he can play in this offense, he can be very effective, dude. Very effective, because he is fast and he is terrific after the catch. So Jonnu Smith, to me, was a bit of a steal by Chris Greer on that 2-year deal. You tell me.
Yeah, I think we will get to the season and end up looking at it that way. A guy who just hit some new receiving highs at first career receptions and yards this past season with the Falcons. Had a couple down years in New England Patriots purgatory. Obviously, it was him and Hunter Henry there at tight ends, and Hunter Henry got the lion's share there. But I know he also had some drops there as well. But then he also, his last year in Tennessee, before hitting free agency, had his career high in touchdowns with 8 that 2020 season with the Titans, which, by the way, if they compare Derrick Henry and Jonnu Smith as well in that running back tight end tandem, obviously the Dolphins will also have the compliments of Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane as well in that.
That's why I love it, dude. Henry Brooks and then Mostert Achane. So the two skill sets, nobody is Derrick Henry. Yeah. But my point is that Brooks at least brings a little punch to his game. You know what I'm saying? He's going to now have a full off season, an NFL off season. You know what I mean? So if like a dude like Nick Hicks gets his ass, or Bomarito or something, they'll make him like a bigger dude next year and more impact. So I love that, because I don't think Wilson's going to be here. I think Wilson's going to be moved. I think he's one of the guys that is going to suffer, unfortunately, here in a cut in free agency. That's just me. I'm just throwing it out there. But I think the Jonnu Smith deal was a steal, dude. Really do.
Yeah. For his skill set, for one, the Dolphins didn't have a tight end touchdown last year, so a red zone target. We've spoken about it all season, how hopeful it could be Chase Claypool or anyone else. Even if it was Robbie Chosen, just because he was taller, even though he doesn't really have the body type, just looking for someone to be that guy in the red zone that Tua could throw a ball up to, and maybe Jonnu Smith can do that. And then also that yards after the catch aspect. I mean, Mike McDaniel could scheme up some tight end screens where defenses are just so worried about Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle going deep, and they're playing off coverage, and then all of a sudden a little slip screen to the tight end when you're also worried about the speed in the backfield and this and that. And then Smith is able to go off for a big yardage after the catch. So just a lot of things that I think Mike McDaniel will be able to do with him.
Okay, but he's not really a blocker.
Yeah.
Okay, no, because let's not start this shit again. Okay? All right, because see, here's my challenge to Mike McDaniel. He is a fabulous play designer. I know he is. He is not a disciplined play caller. He has little to no awareness of what's really going on in the game that he has to attend to, whether it's keeping Chubb in a game too late that means nothing, okay, or whether it's not winning a challenge or not staying with the running game to complement your offense, your game plan, your defense, all these kind of things. And then the other thing that frosts my ass with him is that he loves Tyreek and he loves Waddle. He doesn't love anything else. And so he doesn't throw to the running backs enough. He doesn't scheme out a third receiver. And please don't tell me that people don't get open. Okay? Because Oronde Gadsden ran slower than syrup, and you knew exactly what was going to happen. And that's because Oronde Gadsden's separation is not on the ground, it's in the air. Oronde's separation is not on the ground, it's using his body against the defender. You don't have to be extremely fast. You know, if you know how to use your body like Oronde Gadsden does, like Chase Claypool does, like Mike Gesicki does, like Jim Jensen does. Bro, I'm 57 years old. I'm tired of seeing this shit. I know exactly what a football player is and what his skill set is. And certain guys aren't fast. Throughout the history of the game, there's certain guys that just weren't fast, but they knew how to use their bodies, or they had incredible body control up in the air with their hands. And so to me, McDaniel has been inflexible in creating a third option and scheming. Brother, if there's 2 or 3 people on Tyreek, somebody else is open. So we got to stop forcing it to those 2 guys. He's got to stop influencing his quarterback. His quarterback also, I'm his biggest defender, but I'll tell you one thing he needs to do. He needs to say sometimes, F that, bro. Let me go to this guy. Let me go to this guy. Take the 4-yard pass from Smythe. Take the 5-yarder with the running back. Whatever it is, move the chains. Let's not go for broke every time. And the one thing I've seen from him is that he's inflexible when it's not named Tyreek and Waddle. So now you sign Jonnu Smith, and now he might be a guy that might be willing to be in front of somebody, but he's really not a blocker. So let's not bullshit each other here. He's not going to be on the line, and he's not going to be sealing off the corner, so the running back will be right. That's not who Jonnu Smith is. That's not who he's ever been. Okay, so are you going to use him? Because you've had other weapons, and you fail to incorporate them. That's an article for you, my brother, right there.
Yeah.
Because the overflow of offense to those 2 players and the drought that is the rest of the players, that's bad play calling. And that, by the way, you become more obvious to the defense. They know exactly where you're going. All right, it's these 2 guys. You know, mathematics say it's very little chance he's throwing to these other guys.
Yeah. And you have Durham Smythe there as a tight end that is that inline blocking tight end. Now, I know when you hear that, that smells a lot of the first year under McDaniel, that Mike Gesicki, Durham Smythe combination, which had been in Miami for years before that, but that Mike McDaniel did not utilize Gesicki's skill set very much, only a little bit in the red zone. Gesicki did get his touchdowns that season, but outside of that, rarely on the field. It was too obvious when he was off the field because that's when the Dolphins were running. So it sort of tipped off on play calling, this and that. So now I also hope Mike McDaniel has grown as a play caller from year 1 to now going into year 3, that he could then adjust and find ways to incorporate his talents and the skill sets available to him from different personnel, so that you can get Jonnu Smith on the field and still mix it up and be able to use him and not take away so many of his snaps like we saw so many years in that 2022 season, or so many games in that 22 season with Gesicki, and how he had some career lows in snap counts in games since going back to his rookie season, really. So and then the other thing is, if Jonnu Smith is not a good blocker, but if he's willing at this stage in his career, even after now 7 seasons, just if he's going to be a willing learner, because you get him under John Embry, who is a good tight ends coach and can teach blocking. And then now I know this didn't work for in the few months leading up to the 22 season with Gesicki, but if he could be more of a willing blocker then maybe you could get something out of him, where at least he's serviceable in that area. I'm not asking him to do a lot, but just be serviceable in that area, so you don't have to take him off the field and be basically where defenses can read what you're doing based on his presence on the field or not.
Yeah, I want McDaniel to be more like Spo. That Spo figures out who you are,
yeah,
and then
that's how he plays you, to your strengths, and he doesn't ask you to do other things, but he knows how to incorporate everybody that he has there. He doesn't just like, okay, no, we're gonna just do it on these two guys. That's it. They're gonna carry it. No. The ball's gonna move around. People are gonna get opportunities. You're gonna earn them, obviously, and all that good stuff, like always in that organization. But I see him, open things up and create more with other people out there. Where McDaniel, dude, it's just there's tunnel vision there. And so now you brought me another tight end that really isn't a great blocker. So this isn't George Kittle, bro. This isn't Rob Gronkowski or something. You know what I'm saying? You don't have that right now there. So what are we doing here? You know what I mean? And that's where I need you to use this guy, because this guy can play. I mean, he can catch the ball and run in the open field. He's a better runner than Gesicki. Okay, but Gesicki's strength is up in the air, which is what I would have been high pointing with his ass, just like with Claypool. The second I signed Claypool after practice, every quarterback is throwing him 20 fades in the end zone.
Yeah,
and then fades in the sideline, and fades in the post. And I'm working him everywhere, bro. Why? Because you're going to worry so much about the two monsters that guy's going to get one-on-one, and he's going to out-jump everybody, dude. So let's go. High point. That Gesicki play against the Ravens,
yes,
sticks in my mind like, brother, I used to see that all the time with Oronde Gadsden.
So he threw it at the crossbar. He threw it at the crossbar. Gesicki just went up and got it up over the field goal post. It was incredible. From the back of the end zone.
And when you were a kid, you were watching Oronde Gadsden do the same shit every week. There was no mystery to what was going on with Oronde Gadsden.
One-handed and all, yeah.
Nothing, bro. He would run a stop and go on your ass, and then he'd turn around, and that big body would be right in front of the DB, and the DB would be behind, and there's no shot. He had no shot at the ball because Oronde knew how to use his body, which sometimes I think it's a lost art. I don't see enough receivers run downfield, something I used to see more with older receivers, or receivers back in the day, where they would go run downfield and they knew the ball was coming a little short. So they'd slow down purposely and have the DB run into them a little bit, and then the ball would then lead in front of them because they'd time it. I don't see a lot of that anymore, in the NFL, which was a trick that some, smart receivers had because they could use their body. Once you're in front of the DB, you own his ass. You know what I mean? It depends on how if you know how to use your body. If you let him get around you, then that's your fault. And that's where I think sometimes, some of these techniques are almost, gone from what I've seen in that sense. And using your body is a gift, bro. Yeah. And Claypool can use it. You know what I'm saying? Gesicki can use it. That's how you should play him.
Here's a recent example, Dolphins example, and I saw the stat that went a little semi-viral on Twitter yesterday. Devontae Parker has been last in the league in separation, according to Next Gen stats that track player movements the past 4 seasons. So 2 of those were with the Dolphins, the 2 of those now with the Patriots. And he had a good year or 2 in that with the Dolphins, that Ryan Fitzpatrick season. He was just going up and getting the ball, and then a little bit the year after as well. So when it was kind of like Fitzpatrick and Tua. So I mean, there's a recent Dolphins example as well. And one thing, because you mentioned Heat and Spo, one thing though, correct me if I'm wrong, but is a prerequisite for in that Heat culture is you got to play some defense. Even if you're not a defender per se, you have to at least improve wherever you were before. You have to at least
take a charge, hands in the lane. I got you. A team
stuff that comes down after.
Yeah, team defender, whatever it is. It's not like they ask you to be a complete stopper, but there are. It's like Tim Hardaway. Tim Hardaway was never a stopper, but if you notice when he got here, his hands were all in the lanes constantly, all the passing lanes. That's where he'd poke a ball, and then boom, you're off and running, and Timmy's got the ball, and and there you go. There goes the fast break going. Timmy was very good at that, and then he started to take charges too here, which is something he didn't do in Golden State, obviously. So, yeah, you're right. There's no doubt that. But again, we're talking basketball where it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just, not everybody is a blocker, bro.
Yeah. bringing a willingness to improve in that aspect. Give us something in that regard. Even if you have a poor NBA defender, at least that guy can come into the Heat culture and try to improve his defense and little by little. But same thing for.
Let me give you another example. Okay, I get pissed at McDaniel that he's inflexible, because even if Gesicki isn't a blocker, you could find a way to use him another way if you're a smart coach, to his strengths and to your benefit. Okay, same thing goes for Fangio last year. Brother, Agba's a good player, man. I get it. He's not perfect, but then so it's just your scheme. You're not adjusting your scheme to your talent. And so some guys may not fit because you just got here. Well, then a good coach adjusts what he does to then include the talent he has to help keep other guys fresh, to expand his defense and say, okay, Agba, this is what you do. Well, in these moments, we're going to go 4-3 and we're going to switch things up a little bit or something. Change things up a little bit. And I think you're going to see that from Weaver. I think you're going to see different formations. I think you're going to see blitzing, which he didn't do, like against Lamar or against Will Levis in key moments that he really should have been sending the house against those guys. He was inflexible. And to me, that's not a good coach. A good coach is not one who says, this is my system, and if you don't fit it perfectly, I'm sorry, I can't work with you. I like the coach that says, shit, I'm stuck. I got a guy with a blood clot in 1 week, out the next month. I got to then change the offense because he's back, he's not. I admired the shit out of Spo in the blood clot years, because in 1 year he had like 3 different offenses. And so that's a guy that says, well, I got to run what I have. And that's Shula. You have Greasy, but you have a great defense and you have a dominant running game. So you go behind the running game and you don't need to count on the passing game. The passing game complements it. Okay, now you've got Woodstruck. Okay, you didn't have a great passer, but you had a passer and a runner. So you kind of complement and you use both to their strength, and you got to the Super Bowl. Oh, now you have Marino. Okay, you don't have the running game. All right, we're going to ride the arm because this is a special type of arm. And so it was different kinds of teams that he had success with, just like Spo has had different kinds of offenses and defenses that he's had success with. I'd like to see more of that from McDaniel, and I didn't see it from Fangio. To be fair, also, I saw inflexibility from him, and to me, that's a weakness.
Yeah, we certainly saw it from Fangio. I think the Emmanuel Agba drop-off started the year before, too, when it was still the last year of Boyer. Even when he was healthy before that triceps injury, we weren't seeing the same Agba to that point either. And then also, even more so with Fangio, was the way he used Jalen Ramsey, wasn't willing to maybe get the most out of Cam Smith and develop him. So yeah, there's several things, and maybe Javon Holland, allowing him to be more of a rangy safety, keeping both safeties back. Brandon Jones, not blitzing him when that was a specialty of his. So yeah, there's various examples, and I think Weaver will be more inclined to fit what guys do, but then also we're seeing it with sort of this purge on defense and how many guys are coming out. He's also trying to get his guys too. So we don't know exactly what that'll look like yet because we haven't seen the back end of filling all these holes, but we're starting to see how some of the movement out of the defense under Weaver.
All right, one more thing before I let you go. Love the move of Elijah Campbell, special teams, character guy, and I still think he can help you as a safety. So I love that move. People are freaking out on Jake Bailey. Here's my explanation to it. They're not paying him like a top punter. You may know exactly what kind of salaries are for a top punter, but 2 years, $4 million doesn't sound like it, to be completely honest on that. So I'm not freaking out on that. Plus, apparently he's pretty good with directional punting. And then he was good, obviously, as a holder and all that kind of stuff. So I think they went with something kind of steady, not spectacular, but steady. And they have to spend in so many other areas. I don't think they had the luxury of saying, all right, let's go find the best punter in free agency and let's go buy him right now. I don't think they had that luxury. So they kind of went and said, all right, this is, he may not be the best, but he's certainly not the worst. He's kind of in the middle of the pack. He's steady. Let's ride with him. And we're not even paying a boatload for him. your impressions on this. I don't want to waste too much time on a punter.
Yeah. I think back to something Danny Crossman said, and I know a lot of fans didn't want Danny Crossman to retain, but he is still the special teams coordinator. And late in the regular season, speaking to Jason Sanders' improvement, he talked about wanting to have a trio of specialists, that's the kicker, punter, and long snapper, together for a long time. But that's the goal on a special teams unit, is to have that continuity and consistency from your specialists. And the Dolphins, while they've had Jason Sanders here for a long time, Blake Ferguson here since 2020, the punter has changed all these years. The last time they had the same punter, which would also be a holder, for 2 consecutive seasons was 2020, back when Matt Hawk was still controlling those duties. So 21, they had Pilardi. 22, it was Thomas Morstead. 23, Jake Bailey. So now it's your first year where you have continuity as the punter, and I think more so as the holder. That's key, because we saw a better Jason Sanders this year, especially also the 50-yarders, hitting the clutch field goal like against Dallas to win the game. I think working with Bailey, yes, worked for Jason Sanders. So hopefully you end up seeing some more consistency from Sanders in future seasons. And also, to stick with special teams, you mentioned Elijah Campbell. Really like that re-signing. I mean, he's been a solid special teams guy. He's a good locker room guy. And then, depth in the secondary. You know, you're gonna end up with injuries there. So he's a guy that he has branched off a little bit to corner, but he's mainly a safety. And if you get 2 safeties down, he started in that Jets game and he was just fine. That mid-December Jets game. I
like him.
Allen and Elliott were down. So Brandon Jones and Elijah Campbell in a shutout, by the way. They did their work over there as a safety duo.
I like him. All right, what do you got going on the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out, my man?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's all free agency all the time. So hitting the news as soon as it happens. And I'll be previewing free agency as far as the opening of the legal tampering period, Monday at noon. Then you go into Wednesday. Signings are now able to start happening at 4 p.m. when the new league year begins. So, this weekend, even this weekend, something could happen. Last year, it was this same weekend, Jalen Ramsey, that trade went down right before free agency started. So I'll be previewing all of free agency over the weekend, and then just always ready at a moment's notice for that breaking news.
And by the way, I don't know about the breaking news. If you heard about it now in the NFL, you said that, the legal tampering period comes. They're renaming the combine to the illegal tampering combine. That's kind of what it is. It's really because that's really what's going on in the combine. The illegal tampering is going on in the combine. See, that's why they want to now we're doing it legally. But it's kind of like, it's what it says. It's the Lupe Fiasco thing. It's going out to all my homies who are riding legally and illegally. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it goes. So, props to Lupe Fiasco on that one. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _.
Who knew he wasn't talking about skateboarding. He was talking about going out and acquiring free agents in the NFL offseason.
Kick, push, and coast. That's right, baby. All right, David. Much love, man. You be good. Have a great weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You got it. Call my guys, Welton Rayom, 954-966-4646. Lawyers you can trust. We trusted them against Progressive, and they kicked their ass. Welt and Rayom. Manny Navarro is next.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your InterMiamiCF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All right. There we go. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
Feeling good, brother. It's Friday. Weekend's right here. We got 3 spring practices in the books. It's been a good week, man. Spring break is on the corner for all these UM guys, so they're off next week. But, life's good. How are you doing?
Good. Who knows? You might even be able to go to Miami Beach and not put your life at risk.
That's right. We actually be able to enjoy it, right?
By the way, I freaking love that promo that they put out that we're breaking up with you. It's not us. It's you. Have you seen it? Have you seen the?
I have not. I've heard about it. I have not seen it.
I found it hilarious because, I remember when they kicked us out in Fort Lauderdale.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And we were just partying, bro. Remember back in those days, we were just getting drunk. Yep. That's all it was. You know what I mean?
Good old days.
Yeah. Yep. It wasn't like we were jumping on cars and people were getting shot. There were no guns, none of that kind of crazy ass shit like what's going on now. So it's like, it's amazing, dude, to see what's going on. So you might be able to enjoy yourself at South Beach now, even on spring break, even though I would never go there during spring break because I'm sure it would be. I'm sure. Plus, it's probably just cops everywhere, dude, having to stop people because they can't trust anything that's going on. You know?
Yeah, I will not be going to South Beach during spring break. I will be going when the rest of the world decides to not be on South Beach.
Exactly. That's what I did when I took my wife on her birthday to Versace's house. You know that's a restaurant now.
Really? I didn't know they had turned into a restaurant. Okay.
Oh, dude, it's an excellent restaurant. Great ambiance.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever want to take the wife somewhere nice there, and
what kind of cuisine? What are they serving up?
Everything. They got a little bit of everything, but it's Italian. You got Italian mainly. It's from there, but then they got some other things on the menu. But it is fantastic, bro. Service is excellent.
All right, gotta check it out.
Really, really, really cool, man. And then you could kind of take a walk around the house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's actually pretty cool, man. It's like something that historic. So
right.
As you're walking, I'm sure everybody as you're walking and go, damn, they shot him right here. That's kind of what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? But
that's like when I go to Dallas and I go to where JFK shot. It's kind of morbid, but it's people still. It's a famous scene. Everybody wants to be there.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Definitely. I've never done that. I've never gone to the area where JFK. But I've only been to Dallas a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was like Super Bowl week was one. Yeah, it was Super Bowl week, and I was too busy doing. Plus, it was snowing. That's right. We had you couldn't even be. You didn't want to be outside actually that week. Now that I remember, it was terrible, dude. So yeah,
that wasn't a great weekend in Dallas, but
no. You hearing anything about the Canes getting drafted?
I think Cam Kitchens is probably the highest prospect they've got in this group. I mean, a guy that's probably a day 2 guy. I think Javion Cohen and Matt Lee are day 3 guys. I think James Williams is probably a day 3 guy. Leonard Taylor potentially a day 2 guy. One
of our listeners wants James Williams in the first round.
Yeah, I don't see how you can get a guy who's really not a safety, who's really more of a linebacker that needs to be taught that position in the NFL, no less, in the first round. That's a really risky pick. Now, had he been playing it in college?
Wait a minute. Golden something linebacker, Ohio State. The Jets drafted him. Golston, something like
Nate
that.
Golston?
No, I don't think it was Nate Golston. But anyway, reminds me a lot of Williams, right? A
Mhm.
superb athlete. I mean, he is on the all runway team. Like you're looking at that plane out on the runway,
Right.
and then all of a sudden you're going, "Hey, it's a Boeing 737. They're falling apart." And Vernon Golston, thank you. And so
Right.
all of a sudden, you're a Boeing 737 and you're falling apart all over the place. And Vernon Golston was that guy. And you make a great point that you have to teach him linebacker, right? Do you know what Vernon Golston's problem was? He couldn't drop in space.
Mhm.
No matter how fast he could run like a deer, but he couldn't find anybody out in space because he would
Right.
get beat right away and all that. And it's a great point you bring up because you could be supremely gifted. It doesn't mean you'll have the instincts of a lot. That was my problem with Ryan Tannehill. That I would
Right.
tell everybody he doesn't have quarterback instincts. He's an athlete playing the position. So that's why he doesn't sense anything. That's why he takes stupid sacks. That's why he has no anticipatory skills or anything like that, because reminded me of that guy with the Jets who was a god of an athlete, but he
Right.
just wasn't a football player, and that was his problem.
Yeah, and I think with a guy like James Williams, there's too many miscues in the open field, right, in coverage, and sort of blown assignments, so to speak, at times with him. I think he's an excellent tackler. I think he's a guy that, again, to me, I think of Ray Armstrong. It's a very similar player. Ray Armstrong was a big guy. He ended up catching on with the Rams.
2-down linebacker.
Yeah, 2-down linebacker. I think James Williams essentially is that. Now, he probably has a higher ceiling than Ray Armstrong does. I think James is, a little bit more talented than Ray was, but again, he's got to be in the right system and he's got to have the right coach and kind of some patience with the organization.
Right. You're going to have patience because you're rolling the dice and you got to hope that he has the instincts to play that future position because he's too big to be a safety. Sean, what were you going to say?
Say Golston was the 6th pick overall with the Jets. He did the 3 season with the Jets. He's all-time mainly on special teams, totaling 13 tackles, 5 solo. In his second year, he had 17 tackles. Then he spent 10 and 11 on the practice squad and was cut by the Bears and Rams.
Right. The good thing about James Williams, unlike Vernon Golston, right, you spent the 6th overall pick in the draft. You're going to get Williams in the 3rd round, 4th round, so it's more of a project. So if you miss on it, it's not the worst thing in the world, but if you hit on it, you have potential that if he does have the instincts, then that's when you might get 1st round return. You know what I'm saying? But that's how you want a project. You don't want to reach for the project. You want the project to fall to you instead. And I think that's the good thing for James, that I don't think anybody's going to be reaching for him, but he's going to fall to somebody. And you know what I mean? It's going to be worth the gamble where you take him.
Yeah, again, I think if I'm running an NFL organization, unless I absolutely fall in love with them through the interview process and really think I have the right coaching staff to make the most of them, I'm probably taking them in the fifth round or later.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, so what's new this week in Canes land?
Well, I mean, listen, again, they're in shorts. Today they were in shoulder pads, so you saw a little bit more, thudding, so to speak, as they like to use that word, right? Thudding. They're not in full pads yet, but look, Cam Ward, I think, has been pretty much unreal this first week. He took the offensive line out to eat, all 18 guys, not just the scholarship guys. Everybody who's there took them out to Fogo de Chao, which is all you can eat Brazilian churrascaria.
Right.
Yeah,
so it wasn't like IHOP. He actually like, all right, bro, spending that NIL money. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, he's thrown a Super Bowl party at his place, and how much does Fogo de Chao run anymore? I mean, I gotta look at the price, but some are probably $50 a person, something like that. So
maybe closer to 75, but yeah,
maybe closer to 75. I don't know. Whatever the math is nowadays, everything's much more expensive, right? Than it used to be.
Sean is looking at it right now. He's looking it up right now.
Yeah, so
I think he wants to go now. That's probably what it is.
so probably upwards of about $1,000, right, on dinner for his teammates. It's worth it in the end, right? You're building some bonds. You're getting those guys eager to play for you. So, look, he's done all the right things, and I think one criticism of Tyler Van Dyke while he was here was, is he invested enough in the rest of his teammates? Is he invested enough? I think Tyler tried, but I think some guys just don't have it in them, right, to be natural born leaders in the sense where they want to take on every guy, right? I think Tyler had his favorites. He had Xavier Restrepo. He had other guys, Elijah Arroyo, guys that he got along with, that he had good relationships with, but it wasn't everybody in the offense. I think right now that's what Cam Ward is trying to do. I think that's what Mario Cristobal wants Cam Ward to do, to win his teammates over, and so that's happening. And I'll say this: I think the receivers will look really, really good. Now, is that a product of the DBs not being as good? Probably, but Don Solinger, who was a Miami assistant for a long time, for those of you who don't remember Don Solinger, coached the greatest running back room in probably college football history with Willis McGahee and
South teams, man. Yeah.
He was there. He watched practice today. Don comes by every whenever he can. And I love getting to talk with him after practice just to pick his mind. And he was telling me, man, he's like, I think the talent is back to where it needs to be now. Watching Cam Ward, watching the young receivers like JoJo Trader and Nye Carr and Xavier Restrepo and those guys do their thing. So he these guys are usually honest with me, man. When I ask them, what's your honest take? I got to say, this is probably the most excited I've seen Don Solinger about some of the talent Miami has on its offense in a while.
Well, let's get to the really important information in this interview. How much is it per person?
I feel like we're $62.50 for the churrasco experience. Okay, but now someone's at the Seafood Tower, it's $109. Wow. And then also, depending on the cuts of meats, you've got a Wagyu New York strip that's $140. A tomahawk is $105, and a Wagyu ancho or ribeye, $150. So depending on which way they went.
Yeah, this might be well over 2,000. I'm guessing, these offensive linemen are not small guys. No. If you look at Markel Bell, who's the JUCO kid that they got, I'm looking at the roster here. Let me see what Markel Bell is listed at. Markel Bell, 6'8", 330. He's more like 350, I think.
That was his bill.
That was his bill individually. I mean, I'm looking at some of the other big boys. Tommy Kinsler, 6'6", 340. Francis Marinoa, 6'6", 330. Jalen Rivers, 6'5", 330. Samson Okalola, 6'6", 330. I mean, this offensive line that he's feeding, there's a 338 here.
I think Cam Ward's fucking broke.
I think he spent a pretty penny last night to make his teammates happy.
I think Cam Ward is next to a Salvation Army bin somewhere collecting now, because to take out that much cattle to dinner, that's a lot.
The real question is, how many cows did they mow down by themselves, right? Like, how many cows did they go through?
A lot more than that storm that went through the top of Dallas. All right, go ahead.
You think Cam's on the phone for an NIL bump today?
For sure. There's no doubt. There's no doubt that they've called the coalition and said, yo, back up the Brinks truck. I need some money, bro. These people are expensive.
I've been told he's making somewhere between 1.2 and 1.5 million for this one season. So I think he can afford some churrasco.
Oh, okay. He's got about the 0.2 left because he left $1 million over there at that place. That's for damn sure. Holy shit. That's amazing. All right. Anything on the recruiting front?
Well, they had 70 guys there today. Some of the best in the country stopped by practice today, including, I think, one of the top defensive linemen, a lot of offensive linemen. I think commitment season's coming up. You're going to start to see more guys start to do this as spring football progresses. I know the staff feels very, very good about the position they're in. And look, I'm not going to say that Miami's going to land the number one class in the country, but could they be top 5 again? I think so, especially if they keep paying the way that they do in NIL. I mean, these guys are getting some really good deals. I think Mario is a hell of a recruiter. We've talked about this ad nauseum, right? How much he sort of infiltrates these kids and gets into their heart, and mom and dad and everybody else. Jason Taylor's still on the staff. I'm sure that helps with the moms quite a bit, Big O. So, they have the thing rolling.
Are you telling me they're sending Jason Taylor in the middle of the night to make love to these moms to bring
That's
their
not
kids
what I'm
in?
saying. That's not
Okay.
what I'm saying. That's
Just-
not what I'm saying.
I don't know, bro. You said to have Jason Taylor, it should make the moms like, so, my son will come here if I can sleep with him, and so.
I think they like the eye
Mario's
candy. I'm trying to be nice about this.
So Mario's half head coach, half pimp. Is that what you're telling me right now?
That's not what I'm saying at all, brother.
Okay, I just want to make sure. What do you got there?
I think I got the billboard for this interview.
Okay, there you go. There you go. There you go. Cristobal pimping out the Canes. That's
There you
it.
go.
That's it. There you go. That's the lead to this one right now. All right.
Well,
I like it. I like it. So, but there's no decisions being made here for a while, right? This is just part of the.
Well, there's a couple kids that want to do announcements at the end of March. So, but in terms of immediate future, I think Amari Wallace, who's a 4-star safety from Miami Central, is a guy who could potentially announce soon if he really wanted to. But again, like you got to remember, like all of this kind of stuff, it takes a while. Like the kids want to, sort of keep this going as long as possible. The one guy I would say they have probably a really good shot at is Tarvis Alford. He's a top 100 linebacker out of Vero Beach. He's announcing March 30. So if you're looking for dates, like when could somebody announce, March 30 is probably the earliest. Although I would, like I just told you, if this Amari Wallace kid wants to commit before, he probably has the green light to.
Okay, now you have mentioned this in the past to us. The next window comes up after this stuff, right? Is there a
April 15th.
All right. So is there a specific position that Miami will be still interested in? And is there, I don't know if there's any rumblings, right? Because we have to first hear of the grumblings before we start the rumblings, right? I mean, that's kind of the way it goes.
I think cornerback and safety are both positions that, depending on how this spring goes and how guys look here over the next few weeks, is something that I think Miami probably has to get involved in, just for depth purposes. They're very thin at cornerback right now. Damari Brown has not been practicing. They've had 3 to 4 scholarship guys at the cornerback position. They got more safeties. But again, in this secondary, you essentially have 2 guys that have more than 4 career starts. That's Mish Powell, the transfer from Washington, and Darryl Porter Jr. It's hard to go into a season with confidence that, hey, we got to play 3 guys that have never started more than 4 games in college. In our secondary. 3 of the 5 spots are going to be that young. So I think without question, they will be monitoring the defensive backfield. I think running back is another position. People say, why? They've got all these scholarship running backs. Injuries, right? Guys recovering from injuries. Do they ever really heal right? A guy like Trevante Citizen, who switched his number from number 6 to number 23, gave JoJo Trader, the freshman receiver, his number. Is he a guy that could leave? Is A.J. Allen, a kid who transferred in from Nebraska, is he another guy that could leave? You're always in that window where guys could just decide, hey, I don't want to wait, right? So that means you got to go out and replace them. And at this point, the only way you do that is with transfer. So I would say those are the 2 primary positions. I think if another, elite, experienced linebacker like Francis Maui Noah becomes available, you take a look at that as well, because you're kind of young at the linebacker position. You've got Wesley Bissainthe and Maui Goa as the 2 experienced guys. So that's more of a depth, right? Like go out and get somebody who's just played, like KJ Cloyd, like they got him last year, from Louisville, a guy that was a 6th-year senior. Just bring him in and let him come in and be a contributor, rotation guy. So I would say those are the positions that if you're looking for Miami to add, those, in my mind, that's where they look to add.
All right. What do you got going on the athletics so folks can check you out, my brother?
Well, I just posted a new podcast on Wednesday of the Wide Right Podcast. I have some more stories and projects that I'm working on for next week. If people want to check out some of the videos I've been posting on my YouTube page, they want to see some of these guys in action. I get fans all the time saying, send me video. I want to see what this guy looks like. I want to see what, how much bigger is he? If you want to see some clips of guys and how they've changed physically, go ahead and go to my YouTube page and check it out.
By the way, I just want you to know that police have arrested a man with a unique first name following an alleged disturbance in Green Bay, Wisconsin. 42-year-old Deez Nuts Kroll was arrested after an incident involving a gun. Upon arriving at the scene, officers placed 2 individuals in the back of the squad car. Additionally, Deez Nuts was taken into custody, reportedly found standing outside shirtless and appearing highly intoxicated. One witness stated that Deez Nuts had opened the door and punched them with a closed fist in the shoulder, leading to a physical altercation. Then subsequently, Deez Nuts allegedly obtained a gun. Authorities later seized the weapon and evidence and determined that it to be a CO2 BB gun loaded with 8 silver 4.5 millimeter BBs. So
wow.
those were, in other words, those were smaller nuts.
Oh, it's Friday, baby. We're feeling the weekend, aren't we?
Yes, we are. See, we got to have some fun in this segment. I think we had enough fun in this segment. But anyway, follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro and catch his work there at The Athletic, as always. Better yet, subscribe. You're not going to get these.
$1 a month right now until the end of March. Sign up.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot of nuts to sign up for $1 a month. I mean, really, come on, let's go. No, let's go. Sign up $1 a month, and you'll get great insight all across the country and all kinds of teams and everything. So there you go. Manny, have a great weekend, my brother. We will catch up on Tuesday.
All right, brother. Take care. See you.
Thank you, sir. There you go. Manny Navarro, getting it done as always. Caneswear. Oh, man, Brett, always getting it done. I'm telling you, Jeff, all the great people out there, love it, man. Go out there and check it out. 2655 South University Drive in Davie. Anything and everything practically with a Canes logo on it. Stuff for your bar, neon signs, frames, pencils, pens, shirts, hats, you name it, dude. Heat paraphernalia, shirts and jerseys and hats and all kinds of stuff. InterMiami gear. You want a messy shirt, you want a messy jersey, you want an Inter jersey, you want an Inter shirt, hat, whatever it is. They got it all. Marlins, Panthers, Florida. What am I? Marlins, Panthers. What else am I forgetting? Canes, Heat. InterMiami. I did say InterMiami. Whatever. Anyways, all 5 local teams. You can find it there at Caneswear. And by the way, use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off, whether you go online at caneswear.com or you go in person. And if you want it delivered to your house, and they deliver right away. Jeff and their amazing folks ship everything right away, dude. Jeff is like, he's a beast. Really is. He's a beast. Guy's amazing. So they'll ship it right away, and you'll get free shipping when you order over $99. Check out the Canes sneakers. I mean, they got all kinds of stuff, dude. Caneswear.com.
Welcome to Caneswear.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, InterMiamiCF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
All right. Love it. By the way, I love that kryptonite is still riding high at 50% today. 50%. It's at 9.3 cents. It was hanging out at 6 cents. So those of you that wrote it, Van Archain, I gave it to you guys when it was right around 5.7 to 6 cents. Because I remember I got in at 5.5 and 5.7. And then I posted it that I got in. And we're at almost 18 cents now. From 5.7 to 18 cents. That's 3x more now, baby, on that. By the way, how many of you rode on Ondo? I told you to get on the Ondo bandwagon, didn't I? Get some. Let me see what's going on with Ondo. Let me get the latest. It's updating right now, and I'm going through Tangent because crypto's a little bit more expensive. I'm going to go through the real price is what I'm going to go on. By the way, Star Atlas is up 6% today. That's nice to see. Bitcoin is up 2.4%. It is hanging right under 69,000 at 68,882. I like that. Ethereum is up just under 2% at 3,900. It's about to hit 4K. I told you about Vulcan. Let me see. Let me pull out this stuff that I gave you on January 2nd. Okay. Vulcan Forge is at 958. We gave it to you at 829 on January 2nd. Tectum is at, we gave it to you at 2081. It is at $30.54. What else do we have? Swarm Markets. Where is Swarm Markets? Come on, man. Where is Swarm? Here we go. Gave you Swarm Markets at 34. Down. It's up 6% today, but it's only at 32, so it's down a little bit. Alephium, we gave it to you at $1.08. It's at $3.13. It's pretty good. Demo, we gave you at 36 cents. It's at 51. Hive Mapper, we gave it to you at 14 cents. It's at 19 cents. Hive Mapper, I think, is going to be a monster. Pendle, we gave it to you at $1.23. It's at $3.10. Let's see. Game Swift, we gave it to you at 57 cents. It's at 73 cents. Ondo, we gave it to you at 22 cents. It's at 61. I'm not a financial advisor, of course. So just want to make sure I mention that because, you know, there's one guy out there that doesn't like making money. So he's really not into that. You know, I'm into making money. I'm into helping people make money. You know, if I'm going to make money along the way, I might as well tell you how I'm going to make money. By the way, can I tell you something, how you're going to make money? Can I give you a little secret? Okay, remember, all coins, you can go to coinmarketcap.com and put any of the coins that I tell you about. If you want to find where they're selling them, put in the search engine, and then the coin pops up. You scroll it down about midway, it'll tell you all the exchanges and DeFi platforms. This hasn't gone on sale yet. Are you listening? Are you listening, Sean? Are you ready? Aether, I think, is how it's pronounced. AETHIR. It's about to get released. It is part of NVIDIA. It is part of their Inception program. You know, like NVIDIA is driving like all of AI in the world. Just a little tip. Just a little tip. Just there for you. Okay, today is March 8th, right? March 8th, and we gave you Ether before it even sells. Okay, I also want you to look at March 17th, I believe, is the NVIDIA GTC. Somebody out there, one of you all are big in Near Protocol, and I don't have Near Protocol, but I love Near Protocol. It's fantastic. And Near Protocol, by the way, has gone from $3 to $5.50. Went up to like $6. Went down to $5.50 and a little bit of a dip. If it goes down a little bit more, I might get in myself. Ilya Potosukin is on the panel for the NVIDIA GTC. And what if they announced Near Protocol and NVIDIA doing a partnership? I just want you to kind of look at that kind of stuff. I know some of you don't like making money. Why should I tell you these kind of things, right? Anyway, so there you go. There's some nuggets that you do what you want with them. That's all. You do what you want with them. But never, ever say, I never gave you anything. Whether it was dolphin information or other very profitable information, never, ever say that we don't provide on this show. Okay? We provide on this show, baby. A lot. A lot. Anyway, Let's see. How's it going? Why Jake? You guys got to, I already rewind. I tell you why Jake Bailey. You guys are getting too hung up on this, bro. Relax already, dude. Relax. Chris is from Phoenix. Thank you, Chris. God bless you, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir.
We spent money on a punter and we let Christian Wilkins walk.
Yeah.
Really?
Actually, they didn't really spend big money on the punter. That's the thing, bro. You got to really look at what's going on. So, Ray Sosa, you're on your game, dude. All right, so let's talk about something yesterday that somebody got exposed. Again. Last night, the Miami Heat lost to the Dallas Mavericks 114-108. Did you see what happened in that game? They were doubling Jimmy. Jimmy even says there was triple teams. So when one star is having issues, what's supposed to happen? Another star takes over, right? I mean, if you supposedly have stars, right? Because, I mean, you know, some of you keep feeding me that bullshit that Bam Adebayo is a star. And I keep telling you, he's not a star. And last night was another great example. A very good player, but a role player. He's a follower. He's not a leader. He's a server. That's it. That's just the way it goes with Bam Adebayo. He doesn't have it in his heart to say, I'm taking over. Doesn't have it in him. He's not Alonzo Mourning. He's not Dwayne Wade. He's not LeBron James. He's not Chris Bosh. He's not Tim Hardaway. He's not Jimmy Butler. Those are stars. Stop trying to manufacture bullshit with Bam Adebayo. Okay? He's not a franchise player now or ever. What I told you is we have been upgrading this version of this role player for many years now. Okay? We had the role player like this, and his name was PJ Brown. Okay? And then we got better with Udonis Haslem. And now we got better with Bam Adebayo. None of them are stars. And I'll say this about UD over Bam. UD can take that clutch shot, that baseline, that 16-footer, and make it every time in a key moment. That is something that I can't give to Bam. But again, last night, Bam Adebayo, 5 of 14. They're doubling Jimmy. He's got 6 turnovers in the game. You know, this is a blueprint. And you heard Spo after the game. Well, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I don't know. I'm a geek. I follow all this shit. And he said, oh, it's good for us to see this now because we're going to have to answer to that and all that. And you need another star, man. That's where, because the star takes over and opens it back up for Butler during the game. Duh. But because they know there is nobody on the other side of Butler that is going to say, oh, my guy's being doubled and tripled and being frustrated. And he's turning over the, let me take over. Let me take the load off of him. That's not Bam Adebayo. There's nothing wrong with Bam. It's some of you. It's some of you in the media that keep selling this bullshit. Okay? The Heat know what he is. Maybe their PR department wants to sell it up a little bit, but that's their job to sell anything and everything that's the team. But I am so tired of this discussion. And I'm so tired of schooling everybody that keeps thinking Bam is a star. Because he constantly proves why he's not a star. He's a super role player. He is PJ Brown on steroids, is what he is. That's what he is. He's PJ Brown on steroids. You need him. You got to have him on your team. But just stop making him what he isn't. because he's constantly proving you wrong and making you look like an idiot. Stars carry teams. And in today's NBA, stars impose their offensive will. The Ben Wallaces of the world are no longer stars in this league. In the 90s, we were scoring in the 90s and the 80s. Defense was a premium then because there weren't a lot of points. So, yeah, if you had a great defender and a great rim protector and all that, it meant a whole ton. But you can have all your Rudy Goberts and all that shit in the world. You still got to score and you got to take over offensively. And if you cannot take over offensively in the NBA, you cannot be considered a star. Role players are not stars. Stars are people that carry teams offensively. Jimmy Butler does it in a two-point way, although he has added a three a little bit this year. But he's mainly a two-point player. And Bam Adebayo, he's actually all a two-point player. And he's certainly not one that is going to say, I'm taking over now. And that's why he's not a star, because he can't say, I'm taking over now. By the way, I don't know, but it seems to me like he's playing closer to the rim. Do you see that also, Sean, with Bam? Yeah, right? And still shot 5 of 14. Because he's not really an efficient outside shooter. He really isn't. If he had to depend only on the outside shot, that's really not, he's not consistent enough. No hay cojones. None. He is all about defense and setting picks and all that kind of, he's all about that. Let me help you. But he's not about you. Let me take over. He's not about that. Anyway, so that's what happened yesterday. Bam Adebayo got exposed once again because you needed a star and, you're paying him like a star, but he's not a star. He'll never be a star. He'll be a super role player. And that's where it ends. Money Making Mitch says special teams are very important. Look at the playoff teams. They all had great special teams. Most overlooked part of football is special teams, especially punting field position is important. I don't think he was necessarily costing you a ton of games. It was more about the coverage units. And again, listen, I am not a fan of the special teams coach at all, Danny Crossman. But I kind of understand this move. It wasn't like, I've seen terrible punters. He's not a terrible punter. And I think they didn't want to spend, a big amount of money, a large portion of the pie. Okay. Cosa Nostra, how are we going to utilize Jonnu Smith? We'll see. We shall see. Jason Myers is in the house. Yeah, he's not happy about losing Morstead. I get it, man. Rosendo, Brett Dodger, Beast Mode. Let's not start this shit again, Big O. You're hilarious. What did I do? I don't know what we were talking about at that moment. Arthur Smith used Jonnu very well in Tennessee and Atlanta. Mike should study how he utilized him. I agree. And Arthur Smith is a good play designer. He just didn't have a quarterback in Atlanta. It's tough to be a great play designer if you don't have a quarterback that can sling it, dude. And he didn't have the dominant running game also. Let's see. Beast Mode. Let's see. Frankie says Jonnu Smith blocks. I actually spoke about this on my podcast. He's not really much of a blocker, bro. I wouldn't call Jonnu Smith will get in your way. I wouldn't call what he does blocking. That's like calling what I do golfing. Like when I go out with you to the course, what I'm doing is really not golf. I'm hanging out with you is what I'm doing. I'm not playing any golf. It looks like I got a club in my hand. It looks like I'm hitting a ball, but can you find it? Because I can't. It's called playing with high effort. That's the culture change I want to see for the Finns. Too many guys making business decisions. Nah, I totally disagree with that, dude. I'm not doing that. No way. That's complete horse shit. I don't know what you're watching. So McDaniel is the one that's making some bad decisions. I don't think Chubb is giving up on any plays, and neither is Jalen Phillips. Okay. I don't see Tyreek giving up on plays. I'm sorry. I don't see that. Jackson, Connor Williams, whoever. I think in fact, I'm really impressed with the character on this team. I am completely opposite of you. I actually think this team has a lot of character. And so I'm actually impressed in that sense. It's just, I think too many of you want to keep maybe using it as an excuse. But the reality is what's really set this team back is the amount of injuries they've had the last 2 years and Mike McDaniel's terrible game day decisions. Those are the things that really need to change. They do that, the team will be better. Players will perform at a higher level. Everyone. Your running game, if your coach actually learns to stick to it, your running game will be even better. What a concept. Your quarterback will be better, even more efficient. Your defense might be more rested. Maybe you might have Chubb here to start the season because you were smart enough that it's a blowout. Let me pull everybody. And if, you had some luck, which you have not had any, and that's not the case for the last 25 years. It's mostly been our team has sucked, hasn't been good enough, doesn't have the coach, the quarterback, the front office, whatever. Those have been the problems. It hasn't been a rash of injuries. That's been just the last 2 years. And too many of you are not willing to look at the reality of it. A lot of bad luck, man. And then a young coach that needs to grow the hell up. That's what's going on with the Miami Dolphins more than anything else. Everything else just sounds like a bunch of bitterness, dude, from 30 years of suffering. And I get it. But you're unwilling to be flexible in the reality of where your team was at. And then you want to create all kinds of bullshit excuses like, oh, no, Tua's terrible. I love he can't win playoff games. He's been in the playoff one time. Just shows that you're negative and biased and just say you don't believe in the guy. And don't be such a coward when he's in the middle of an MVP race. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you guys are. You're a bunch of freaking cowards. You hide in the bushes and you go away when it's going well, and then you wait for something to go back so he can try to back up your point that you're wrong. But then now the punter thing is like this big issue. It's a freaking punter. He wasn't costing you a bunch of games or anything. More the special teams unit is what cost you games. And by the way, Sanders actually improved this year from the last year and a half or two that he went into a funk. I mean, I get it, man. You're frustrated. So am I. A lot of shit has happened in 30 years. We've been through hell and back. But I'm not blaming everything that's gone on in the last 2 years because I think it's actually a pretty damn good team. It just needs to stay healthy. And we have a young coach that needs to learn how to call a game, needs to have awareness, needs to win challenges. Not 1 out of every 12. No, dude, you got to win more than half. If not, you're a failure. You got to do better. That's what's really going on with this team. But you're letting your frustrations lead you to places that that's not really the problem. Just like those of you that, I get it. I'm the homer, right? When I don't like Philbin or Ndamukong Suh's move or drafting Tannehill, I'm a hater. And because I believe in Tua, I'm a homer. So I get it. It's never that I'm trying to be objective about it. It's just that I'm being a homer or a hater, one of the two, because that's what's convenient for your argument, just like what's going on here. But like I told you, is Tua Marino? Not in his fucking dreams. And that's how McDaniel's playing him. Like he has Marino with no running game and Dan sling it away because you have an elite radar and an elite arm and you can do whatever the hell you want on the field with your arm. That's not Tua. And he's supposed to play him like they played Bob Greasy. See, Shula understood what McDaniel doesn't understand. Oh, I have Jim Jensen. Shit. A white quarterback. Wait a minute. I can make him my halfback, tight end / running back. He's big. He's physical, smart, has great hands, great athlete. Boom. Finds a way to use him. Because you adjust with what you have. And that's what I need. I need him to understand what he has at quarterback. He has Greasy. He doesn't have Marino. He has Breeze. He doesn't have Mahomes. Okay? That's kind of the way it goes. I explained it to you in the playoffs in the regular season. Go watch the good Jordan Love games and the good CJ games in Houston. Go see what complemented them all the time. The running game. They ran it like crazy. Go see what happened in the playoffs. They shut down the running game and it was over because that's how it is for most offenses. They shut down Buffalo and that's it. If Buffalo's not running, Josh is not going to carry you with his arm. Why? Because he's going to make mistakes. Because that's who he is. He's not a perfect passer. He's an inaccurate passer. He has clutch moments, but he needs the running game. Just like Lamar Jackson. You force Lamar Jackson to pass, he's shit dead in the water. He can run, and his running backs are running, you're screwed. They're going to control the ball, they're going to control the game, but they can't do that in the playoffs. You got to have a quarterback. I don't care if it's Justin Herbert. He can't just sling it. So the problem with Mike McDaniel is he doesn't understand all talent. And then unless the talent perfectly fits his offense, he excludes it from the mix. I need him to become a better coach. That's your problem. Your problem is that your coach doesn't understand what he has to do. On a down in and down out basis, he doesn't have a feel for the game. He doesn't know how to use all his talent. He doesn't know how to incorporate his talent. This is what's stopping you from getting better. Mike McDaniel's immaturity. A team that is undisciplined, that constantly is making mistakes and penalties and pre-snap penalties. And he cut them down this year, but they showed up in the worst moments this year. Just say that Kansas City game, how many times it happened? Because when push comes to shove, what happens with McDaniel so far in the first 2 years? You are who you are. You end up abandoning the running game no matter how much you tell us. And you continually make mistakes no matter how much you tell us. But you're not willing to actually look in the mirror at what's really going on with the Miami Dolphins. You want to start looking at, oh, it's a salary cap. Oh, no, it's the front office. No, it's the quarterback. No, it's the punter. No, we're not bringing back Wilkins. No, dude, all that stuff gets fixed every year now under these guys. They have a good front office. They figure it out. They give the coach the talent they need. It's the coach. He's not a good cook. No, in fact, he's an assistant. There's no chef there. Spo is a chef. Shula is a chef. That's a chef. Andy Reid is a chef. You understand? These people, Jim Larinaga is a chef. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. People that adjust to what they have. And McDaniel does a piss poor job of that. That's your real problem. And then your other problem is, I don't know what it is, but ladies and gentlemen, I want all of the Dolphin Nation to make some prayers and for some luck this year. Just give us luck. That's all. I just want to stay. I get it. You're going to have some injuries, but not a ton of injuries. And the last 2 years has been just ungodly. That's what's really going on. stop trying to find other places to lay your frustrations because it's just not accurate. It just isn't. Everything else can work out fine. But our assistant cook has a long ways to go. Long ways to go. He wouldn't be allowed anywhere near Burns Steakhouse. They'd keep him on the farm. You'd have to know about Burns Steakhouse and their history to understand what I just said right there. Your tips are so next level. I'm new to this world and already up 50%. God bless you, Jerry. Good for you, dude. I'm glad you like making money. What was the name of that dude that doesn't like making money? I forgot the guy's name. Huh? Polka Dot. Well, and he should have invested in Polka Dot. Oh, you just got Polka Dot. No. Polka Dot, we've never heard from Polka Dot again. The guy that said, oh, my God, I got to listen through Bitcoin talk or whatever. And that guy from yesterday or the day before or whatever. It's kind of like the other guy. Well, what happens if there's a world war? Yeah, what happens? We're all fucked. Nuclear war. Just go to your nearest nucleoid bomb shelter. They were struggling with offensive line injuries from the start, but what hurt them a lot was when it started trickling to the defense and important starters on offense. It's not an excuse. It's a fact. I agree, Dr. Quit. I'm with you, bro. Big O, have you heard about any free agents in Miami? Not yet, because it hasn't started, my brother. The only thing, there's no real big moves to make unless you're making your own big moves, like your own players, or somebody that happens to be out in the street already, like Jonnu was. And there's not a lot of players out in the street. I got to tell you, I think the Jonnu Smith signing was terrific before free agency. I really like that move. So who knows? I still think they could draft another guy or pick up another guy or something, but if they don't, that's a good one to have at least. So we'll start hearing free agents and once the tampering, window starts, so that's next week. Next week, we'll start to have fun, man. Right now, I'm not going to get into a whole bunch of hypotheticals. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? I've already given you my level of hypothetical. My let's go get Derrick Henry and let's go get Patrick Queen, which of course has started a fire with others in the media that, we started the fire and they have then followed. So it's all good. Big O, do you think some fans have Tannehill PTSD? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Because he stuck around for 7 years, Devin. It's a great call on your part, by the way, that they're damaged from it. So if you stick with anybody that just doesn't convince you right away, you think you're it's happening again. But yet, was Tannehill ever in the MVP race for 2 years in a row? For 1 year? For 1 week? No, I don't think so. But it's all right. I'm telling you, dude, it's just us Dolphin fans beating ourselves up and reaching for a bunch of crap that just does not exist, man. I think we're in a much better place than we've been in many, many years. It's just we've had some bad luck and we got a young coach that's got to figure shit out. And let me tell you, he better figure out quickly because got 2 years left for this window. If not, it's going to cost everybody their jobs if he screws it up. So it starts in the trenches. Amen, Rosendo. You are 1,000% right. Michael Souza says it does start in the trenches. That's right. Let's end the curse. I hope so. Oh, explain how this team is going to defeat the Bills, Ravens, Chiefs, and Bengals to get to the Super Bowl in the next 5 to 7 years. Troy, you don't see anything because you're negative about everything. So it's over, bro. So why are you sticking around to talk about it? You know what I mean? It's a hypothetical. I don't get into that. Beast Mode says crypto is the future. Unless McDaniel can admit his shortcomings and change some of his ways, our offense will never reach its potential, sadly, which is true. It's popular and less complicated for fans to be told it's a QB issue compared to it's a lack of coach not sticking to a successful run game or calling the right plays when needed. The pressure is on the front office to steer this ship. Yes, in the off season. They do their job, then it's the coaching staff that has to then get it done. Okay? And listen, as much as I like and support Chris Greer and believe in Greer and McKenzie and Allen, okay, and Brandon Shore's there too. I'm not stupid. Okay, if McDaniel fails, it's not going to be good for those gentlemen because that's their second coach, and they basically failed with Flo. They got the opportunity to fix that. They have to get this corrected. And listen, here's the other thing for some of you. One of the things that here's my suggestion to some Doll fans out there. Okay, it's not nearly as bad as you're making it out to be. 2, there's a lot of potential on this team, right? At least I believe there is. And I believe there's a front office and a cap department and everything that can adjust through a lot of stuff, okay? I think you're also doing yourselves a disservice because you're already putting yourselves in a negative mode when I think you're at the best place you've been in a long, long time. And there's a real possibility that after all this negative shit that you've been, undertaking, all of a sudden you're going to find yourself in a good place and you didn't really kind of give it a chance. So how about, just saying, how about being a fan? Just a little bit, this offseason. How about waiting, having some fun with this, hoping for the best, and then wait till everything's kind of put together. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like nitpicking and overreacting on a bunch of shit and going crazy that every time somebody's released, I'm getting DMs left and right that we should pick this guy up. I mean, my DM is crazy on Twitter, dude. Timeline gets moving, although I've muted a lot of people. There's probably a lot of people that are, who say a lot of stupid shit. I just mute them. And they're probably like sending tweets to me and like, he never responds to me. Yeah, there's probably a reason why I never respond to you. But anyway, so it's just like, chill, man. Relax. It's just this sea of negativity when I don't believe there needs to be negativity right now. It's pretty damn good players. I get it, dude. Is it perfect that Phillips and Chubb aren't available at the beginning of the year? Maybe not. I don't know. The way Phillips is going, shit, Phillips might be available at the beginning of the year. Who knows? But I don't know. Have some fun with this. Enjoy the Jonnu Smith. Enjoy the Elijah Campbell one. I kind of explained to you what the punter is, or I don't think they want to make a splash play there. I don't think there's a lot to overreact. A year from now, if Christian Wilkins goes somewhere and has 10, 12 sacks and he becomes a sack monster, then you can regret it. But if he doesn't, you might be able to say, wow, okay, that was the right move. And Greer's been pretty good on that kind of stuff overall. It's just, again, what's really killed us has been injuries. So if we could get some luck and if McDaniel can grow, I really like, your team's chances this year. I really do. No matter what the negativity says and, oh, you can't beat this and you can't beat that and all that. You could have beat Lamar Jackson this year, but you didn't blitz his ass. You could have beat Will Levis this year, but you didn't blitz his ass. You got to make right decisions too. Is that on the players? No. Now, Tyreek Hill, he's talking a lot of shit this week now about, I want Tua to be more like Mahomes. No, I want you to be more in line and start acting like a normal human being and stop being in the headlines. And I want you to catch the ball in key moments because you seem to be dropping the ball way too much in key moments. Look in the mirror, Tyreek. Don't point fingers. Don't create shit out there that isn't there. Look in the mirror. You're the one that lost the game against Kansas City. After talking all that shit that week, that you're going to be a nightmare, you gifted the game away. So let's call things like we see them. That would be my suggestion. All right. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar, sir. Last night, the Mavs beat the Heat 114-108. They will take on OKC tonight, by the way. 8 o'clock tip-off. OKC favored by 8.5 in that one. Let me see if it is still 8.5. I kind of like the Heat here because this is where the Heat, not to win the game, I'm not saying they're going to win the game, but I just would not be surprised if the Heat put up one hell of an effort, and even if they lose a close game, you know, because I can see them losing because obviously they're pretty good. It's still 8.5. Okay, so that's a pretty good one right there. I kind of like that one. I put a little bit, and I'm gonna wait for the live line that maybe it goes up even more, and they give me more points, and then I can add a little bit more. Flyers defeated the Panthers last night 2-1. Saturday they take on Calgary at the Amerant Bank Arena. Concacaf Champions Cup, our only positive last night. Inter in Nashville. Actually, there were two positives last night. That was one of them. Inter tied Nashville late in the extra time as Suarez hit the header in. It's a beautiful play. Messi had a goal in the 52nd minute. Shuffleberg had 2 goals for Inter. That second goal was nasty, bro, by Shuffleberg. Holy shit, that was a nice one. Sunday, they take on Montreal. Don't expect Messi and Suarez to play. By the way, if you can find somebody gullible, I'd sell my tickets now and try to get money that they may not realize that Messi won't play. Anyways, Wednesday is the next. It's kind of a dick move, right? I know. Hey, bro, but if you don't do your homework, right? Isn't this show about doing your homework, right? We talk about it all the time, right? Huh? Who's the guy that told you Messi was coming? Go buy season tickets. I mean, how many ways do we help people make money on this show? I don't know. Because nobody believed Messi was coming except yours truly said, no, he's coming. And go buy season tickets. My buddy reminds me like every couple of weeks, son of a bitch, I could have made so much money last year. How did you know? I'm like, forget how I knew. You needed to buy the season tickets, you moron. You have a lot of money. He has a ton of money, bro. I'm a working stiff. I can't afford 3 tickets. Okay? This guy can afford 10 season passes, bro, or tickets, whatever. 10 pairs. And it would be like nothing to him. That's why I told him, I go, bro, you got to buy season tickets. You're gonna make a boatload of money. Why do you think they're only selling season tickets and they're not selling single game tickets for the second half? Why do you think they've got these jerseys open and they're not giving them to anybody? You know, it was like all the signs were there, you know. They were convinced, dude. Anyway, Flyers beat the Panthers. It was a rough night last night. They just couldn't finish last night. Calgary on Saturday. Concacaf 2-2 against Nashville, which is our rivals, by the way. So Sunday against Montreal, and then Wednesday against the Concacaf Champions Cup. It'll be at 8:35 at Chase Stadium, right? That's what it is, Chase Stadium. Okay, and NSU in the Sunshine State Conference Tournament, baby. They beat number 4 Lynn University 124-89. Sunday, they will take on number 7 Barry. Okay. Isaiah Fuller had 17 points and 5 assists. Mike Moore had 17, 5 of 6 shooting from 3-point range. And MJ Araldi, 11 points and 5 rebounds. And Trey Dooms also had 13 points. So nice job by Nova Southeastern advancing. And call our friends at 3A Graphics for custom printing and embroidery, 786-618-1443. By the way, Dolphins signing Davion Nixon and Isaiah Mack at defensive tackle. Folks, don't look too much into it. That's rotational players, back-end rotational players, training camp bodies. Maybe one ends up on a practice squad. Maybe one ends up as the last D tackle. I doubt it. You never know. But these are guys that have floated around, might be comfortable in this scheme, obviously must fit what Weaver wants to do. So don't look too much into it, because I had a couple listeners that went, hey, can you talk a little bit about it? And it's not that big a deal, more training camp bodies than anything else. Panthers, by the way, they continue to acquire players left and right. I mean, it is ridiculous what the Panthers are doing. They have, and by the way, they just added another guy that's a captain from Boston, Okposo. So Okposo coming from, Buffalo. From Buffalo, I'm sorry, Okposo. And he was a captain. They also claimed defenseman Tobias Bjornfot off waivers from the Golden Knights. Okay. They acquired goaltender Magnus Hellberg from the Penguins in exchange for goaltender Ludovic Weber and a conditional 7th-round pick in 2025. It continues, dude. Kyle Okposo came from the Buffalo Sabres in exchange for a 2024 7th-round selection and defenseman Kaye Sangelin. I'm sure I butchered the names, but I tried my best. Okay. I cannot commend a front office more than this one. And the ownership group. Bill Zito is a monster, and Viola and Sifu. I mean, what else can you say about him? Right? These guys are just absolutely phenomenal. Committed to winning a championship. We have a baseball team that is never trying to win. Thank the Lord for InterMiami, because our summers would be terrible here without InterMiami. I know that individually you'll enjoy something. I'll watch it and I'll enjoy some things, but deep down inside, we have no shot. We're hoping for some miracle of miracles, and that's pathetic. It just is. All right, Acura Pembroke Pines, we are out here, folks. Larry Schlossberg right behind us, and all the great people out here at 15601 Pines Boulevard. The new Integra right now, 2024, $329 a month. The TLX 2023, $399. The RDX 2024, $459. The MDX 2024, $499. It is right here, baby, at the finest dealership in the business. Come on out here, and we got a fleet of certified pre-owned vehicles. They're in amazing shape. Come on out and check it out, and tell them that Big O sent you. I saw Tony Stampone here, Pat Nasto out here once in a while. Of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Larry Schlossberg, the man that has made this the #1 volume sales dealership in the United States. That is Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines, baby. Appreciate it. Tony Zag says, Sportstradamus, baby. Your buddy should have listened to you, Big O. It takes balls to buy season tickets when, he's not a soccer fan, by the way. He knows nothing about it, but he's got cash. And I said, bro, I'm telling you, he's made money with crypto. A lot of money. Holy shit. The kind I wish I could make, because then I could really retire. My wife could retire and never have to worry. But I don't have that kind of money to invest. He does. He has made a killing on crypto. And I told him, so you're listening to me in crypto, but you won't buy the tickets? He goes, well, it's different. It's like an investment that I can follow. The other one was kind of like a gamble. And I go, well, yeah, but, investing is still risky, right? You didn't trust me? He goes, I will not fail you again, he said. Too funny. Let's see. Dolphins not franchise tagging Omar Kelly. I saw that. I saw Safed Dean pull that up. That was funny. But
we are leaving the door open.
Oh, yeah, yes, we are. Yes, we are going to leave the door open. Yes. I see everybody cutting salaries, but Dolphins haven't done anything. I hope they're cutting. Well, they have to, bro. They have to get under the cap. It's coming, dude. Relax. You will definitely find a gullible Messi fan to buy a ticket for a game where Messi might not play. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You know?
Well, at least you could sit there and take pictures of him sitting in the back chilling, right?
Right. And one of those really comfortable chairs.
I mean, at least he's there with Messi, man.
That's it. And he'll come out and wave.
Yep, you're in the same stadium for Messi.
You know?
What they should do is do like they did the last time.
Bring him out
5
for 10
minutes left in the game. Let him run around. Let everybody get the pictures. Don't do nothing crazy, Messi. Don't get out there and try to win the game now. But that's the problem, though, I think, is they know once they put him out there,
he only has one gear.
Do whatever he's got to do.
Right. He only has one gear. You have to protect him from him. Yeah. Like Teron Armstead. Yeah. You have to protect Teron Armstead from Teron Armstead. I don't give a shit how much you want to practice. Screw you. Oh, I want to scrimmage. I don't care. Screw you. Oh, I'm pissed. I don't care. Screw you. I'm putting you in bubble wrap. You're not coming out to the regular season. I'm saving you, bro. Sorry. All you prove to me is that you're not durable. So if I'm going to use you, I'm going to use you for game days. And that's it. That's all. That's what sometimes you got to take a hard line stance. And that's why I'm saying on Sunday, you can't play any of these guys. You better rest them all, man. Yes, sir.
Devin Jordan, InterMiami plays Atlantic United at Chase Stadium, May 29th, 7:30 p.m.
Okay. All right. Let's you know what? Let me give you some birthdays, and let me give you some what's it called? Music history. All right. First of all, let's start off with the birthdays today on March 8th. Oh, let's see. Benny Blanco, music producer, 36. Isn't he the boyfriend now of the girl with the black hair, Selena Gomez, right? Right, Benny Blanco, right? Benny Blanco is Selena Gomez's boyfriend. In fact, I was just reading a story. She was happy that he sent her stuff with a whole bunch of PDAs. I know too much shit, bro. There's like too much shit in my head, bro. What is it? Benny Blanco, right? All right. Not Benny the Blade. No, Benny the Blade is different. Freddie Prinze Jr. is 48 years old today. Really? Great writer, huh? Okay. I didn't know that. I had no idea he was on the writing team for pro wrestling. James Vanderbeek is 47 years old, Saved by the Bell, and many other shows, actually. I root for him, man, but none of his shows ever last. Yeah. Is it Saved by the Bell or no? No, it's what is it? Dawson's Creek. That's it. It was something, yeah, Dawson's Creek. I got it mixed up. Good call by you. Good call by you. Brain fart by me completely on that one. Let's see. Some guy named Stampa. He's a YouTube star. But every time I think of Stamper, I'm thinking 007. I'm thinking it's Pierce Bronson. It's the one with the guy with the media mogul and what's her name with the short hair is in it. And then the blonde guy that's like his muscle, I think his name is Stamper. I want to say. So yeah, that's when I think Stampa. I think of that Stampa, Mr. Stampa. Kenny Smith is 59. Gary Newman, if you're in your car right now, he is 61. Lester Holt, journalist, is 65. That is your birthdays today. And in music history, in 1974, some former members of Free, Mott the Hoople and King Crimson played their first live gig together in Newcastle, England as a little band known as Bad Company, Till the Day I Die. In 2003, former Dire Straits singer Mark Knopfler crashed his motorcycle into a Fiat in London. He broke his collarbone and 6 ribs. It's funny because I was just watching the video of Skateway, which is like a funky song. Because one thing about Dire Straits, say what you want, they were distinctive in their music, man. Okay? I mean, Knopfler is a genius. He really is. Supposedly he's a horse's ass and not necessarily the nicest guy. I don't know if it's true or not, but I will give them so much credit that their music was distinctive. It was individual. It could not be compared to anybody out there. Mad props. And Skateway is one of those funky songs. And if you check out the video too, it's kind of a funky video too. Back in the day, the first time I saw that Skateway video is what it reminds me of is when I was a kid, I had HBO in my house just as the channel. There were no cable boxes. We didn't have cable or anything. This was back in the day when there were 2 movie services. First, it was HBO. Then came a competition named On TV. And every kid would turn to channel 51 because that's where On TV was, but it had the half line in the middle. And late at night, they would show porn, soft porn or something. So kids all over South Florida would turn to that UVH channel and hope that that middle line would go like this for like a half a second. And then you'd see some breastises, or something like that. But anyways, just kidding aside, and it was really true what was going on in that sense. But HBO in those days, like a movie would end at 2:50 or 2:55, and they wouldn't start the movie right away. No, dude, they give you 5-10 minutes of commercials and promos and all that. And inside of that, you would see videos. Okay? This was like before MTV. And so you would see videos. You would see Joe's Apartment plays, and not plays, but they were like I don't know what they're like short movies. In other words, Joe's Apartment was the guy with all the cockroaches, and I'm probably losing so many of you in this. But long story short, that was the first time I saw that video from Dire Straits. Skateway was in one of those HBO breaks, just like I remember seeing John Cougar for the first time. Ain't Even Done with the Night during those breaks on HBO back in the day. If you were any of those kids that had the singular HBO antenna. I didn't have On TV, but I definitely had HBO. Anyway, in 2011, Phil Collins announced his retirement so that he can spend more time with his family. However, by 2013, he was working on music again. You want to retire and then be with your family, and then you realize you don't want to be with your family doesn't want to be with you, and then you go back to work. Yeah, Tom Brady. Everybody. Happens so much. In 69 Small Faces splits up after singer Steve Marriott announced he was leaving the band. Ronnie Lane, Ian McGlan, and Kenny Jones then joined up Ronnie Wood and Rod Stewart to form Faces. In 2016, famed Beatles producer George Martin passed away at the age of 90. That's pretty good. I'll take 90. I'll take 90 big time. And in 93, much to the chagrin of Winger, Beavis and Butthead premiered on MTV. There you go. That's what happened today in music history. Tony Zag says, I used to do the same thing with the cable and watch those porn movies with the line in the middle. Good, bad, or indifferent. We're going to be brutally honest with you. It is what it is. Happy birthday to singer Mickey Dolenz. Oh, that's right. The last surviving member of the Monkees. You are correct. I saw that. It wasn't there. That sucks. That's not a good omission by them. You can't leave out Mickey Dolenz. Nice call by you, Rosendo. Mickey Dolenz deserves a little love there, bro. I like the Monkees. I'm always going to be a Monkees fan, no matter what. All right. By the way, Rebel Yell is coming out with a 40th anniversary set. Going to have unreleased material and everything. I might just get that just because I'm a fanatic. I would love to get that CD set of Rebel Yell. That would be absolutely awesome. And Elvis Costello and Daryl Hall have announced tour dates. None in Florida, by the way, but you can check it out all over the place. Oh, it was channel 47. That's what it was? It was 47? Okay. All right. I'll take your word for it. I'm not. I remember it was some UHF channel, 47. So you were doing it, weren't you? You were waiting for that line, right? That was like That was notorious, dude. Are you young? Are you old enough for that? No, right? Because you're like 10 years younger than me, right? About? How old are you?
48.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be 58 this year.
Yeah, but we had the one channel
You're 9 years.
where it looked like a constant film strip was running, but you could see it.
Okay.
If that, that's kind of how that was.
I don't know. It was on TV.
It was there. It wasn't one line. It was like, it looked like it was like running through.
Well, in South Florida, on TV was the one that had that. And anybody that wanted, like, if you wanted porn in your house back in those days, you would then order on TV because they'd have regular movies during the day, and then they'd have.
See, I don't even know. We had a box. I don't know what the hell that was.
You talk about the box with the 3 levels?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cable.
Yeah.
That's cable. This was
this
was before cable.
Oh, okay. No.
Before cable got into South
you had
Florida.
The cable, you could push 2 buttons at the same time. You could get that.
This is like 1979 and 80.
Yeah, 4 years old. I was Saturday morning cartoons. Right
Yeah. This was early, and this was right before cable. And you can order. I had a friend of mine that his dad was. Hey, my dad's an electrician. He can fix it. The Spicoli thing, but he was really an electrician. And so he had the HBO in his house. Son of a bitch built an antenna with a Folgers can. Okay? Had like a little radar like of aluminum attached to the can, and then he had the mechanism inside, and he had it up out of his house. And, you drive by the house and you see a Folgers can, you're not going to think anything of it. You're going to go, what the hell is that? And the son of a bitch is watching free HBO. Because he knew how to build the transmitter to steal the signal. Because he was one of those guys. He had that talent, that skill set. And he built a freaking antenna out of a Folgers can. That's legendary, bro. So anyway, the rest of us, you would purchase it and buy it every month, and they'd send you like a little magazine, a little HBO magazine that had every day what was going to be on. So you had a listing of everything that's on. So it was actually like back in those days, my God, that was the coolest thing in the world. If you had HBO or on TV in your neighborhood, especially if you had on TV, you definitely had the horny kids over trying to stay overnight. Parents asleep. Let's go to the living room. Anyway, so there you go. Some stuff from the past. We appreciate all of you tuning in. We thank David Furones, Manny Navarro, the great Larry Schlossberg, of course, getting it done. Sean Stanley, the legend. Of course, my wife. There's no way I can do this without my wife. You guys have a great weekend. May the great investment be yours. Where is Bitcoin as we're coming off the air here? 68,485. So it is holding strong in that 68 area, trying to bust through, see if it gets to the point where it gets through to 70,000, which I think is going to happen this weekend. I think we're going to hit it, man. I think we are going to hit it big time. All right. We will see you all Monday morning. Oh, and by the way, we are going to bring the crypto show to the platform. We'll start next week. Okay. And we'll start doing it a couple times a week. All right. You all have a great weekend. Be good and be safe out there.
This is the Big O Show. This is the